Hey everybody, it's Mike here. Today we're going to talk Excel, and what we're going to talk about today is SUM IFS. So just so you know what a SUM IF is, so let's say I have this sample data here. I have some salary information by person and by department, okay? And what I want to do is figure out here's my little example here. So my first example is, what if I wanted to sum up everybody with the name of Mike, and I want to sum their salaries together? Sure, I could just look at it and say, okay, 15,000 plus 17,000 gives me 32,000. Or I could write a formula and say equals this plus this, and that gives me 32. Or a third way, I can go equal sum and highlight this and do comma this. And while I'm giving this example, some of you might have just learned something right there. But there's even a better way, believe it or not. And it's going to be a sum if. So we're going to get rid of that. And because these examples only work because of the fact that, this is only a real small sample data. I got like 14 lines here. So what if I got thousands of lines here? So this is how we're going to do it. So we're going to do equals sum if. So basically, this is a combination between a sum formula and an if statement, all built in together. Very nice formula. I use it all the time. And once you figure this out, I'm sure you'll all be using it too. Very good information here. So this sum if, what we're going to do is we're going to select a range first. See where it says range. And we're going to select our range is going to be our name, all of our names. And then normally I would say hit F4 here, but we're not going to drag the formula down. So F4 locks, see how it puts all these dollar signs in? You don't have to do that, only if you're dragging some formula down. If you're going to drag this formula down, then you need to do it. So if you don't understand locking and unlocking of cells, check out my other video. I have a video on locking cells and what it's used for and why you use it. But for this example, we don't need it. So I'm not going to confuse everybody. Unless I already did. If so, I apologize for that. All right, so next one. So now I have my range built in. Now my criteria is saying, hey, what do you want to check for? And I want to check for anybody with the name of Mike. So here's my sample here. And then my sum range means what do I want to sum together? What do I want to add? So it's going to be anything in here. And very, very important, sum if will not work if your range that I selected here and my sum range that I selected here is not the same amount of records. So if let's say I went, instead of 14, I went to 13, see how I'm missing this bottom one here? Your formula will not work. It will fail. So very important, to make sure you select the same amount. Or if I'm, if sometimes I do this myself, if I selected, let's say instead of, sometimes I click the header inside. So it doesn't really matter where you start as long as you keep the same amount of records in both of them. So they both start with 2 and end in 14. Very important. All right, and then close parentheses. And there you go, $32,000. And I just wanted to make one more note in here. So right here I have the name Mike selected. This is the easy way to do it. But let's say I did not have my name built into this cell. And let's say I type in Mike. Let's see if anybody knows the problem without me mentioning it real quick. I'll pause for a minute. Okay, so problem here is not what you think. It's not because it's case sensitive. See, some ifs do not care whether it's capital M or lowercase m. So I can capitalize it if you don't believe me. So there's my capital M. So I did have one of each. I had a capital M and a lowercase m. That, just so you know. So it doesn't really matter. What is missing is, because Mike is a text, it's letters, I have to put quotes around Mike. So now that I have quotes around myself, it's saying, okay, it's telling Excel you're looking for a text. So now that I have that text, is $32,000, which is what we want. We want 15 plus a 17 here. So if you did not have a text here, and let's say, hey, you wanted the sum, I'll show you in the next example here actually. So you only need this for text. So now let's say, okay, someone comes back and says, hey, I want to know, I don't care about anybody with the name Mike, but I also want to know, in addition to people named Mike, I want to know their salary information also only if they're in department 1240 also. So now your sum, what you could do is write a SUM IFS. I mean, if you try to even do this manually, it would be still kind of, messy. You'd be like, okay, here's a Mike, and then you have to search for department. Be like, okay, 1240, any other Mikes? So it wouldn't be fun, and you could do some sorting or something, but it's not a fun exercise. So how you would do it is you would write a SUM IF. So equals SUM IFS, and you just add an S. S means basically that you're just gonna have more than one criteria, and you don't have to. You could technically write a SUM IFS with one criteria, but I guess there's no reason to, unless you're really, really comfortable with one versus the other. So now, notice that the SUM IFS, the ordering of what they want is different. So when you use a SUM IFS with an S, it wants the range of what you want to sum first. And then it's going to go into criteria and range and all that. So just wanted to give you a quick FYI on that so you don't make a mistake there. Because again, I made the mistake. We all make the mistake. So my sum range is going to be my dollars, my salaries. Then I do comma, and now it's going to get into criteria range. My criteria range, like I did before, is going to be the name, and it's going to be equal to Mike. So it's going to be, I can't see because of my thing here, but it's actually, there's a Mike hidden behind here. So it's going to be F4. All right, and then my second range now, and say, hey, what else do you want to test for? What's your second criteria? My second criteria is my department number. This is my department here, and I select criteria 2. Okay, what is my criteria number 2? So what am I testing for? And that it's equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, which is right behind here. So it's actually in G4. It looks kind of messy because of the fact that this formula is just getting bigger, and just to make it easier, I'll type in 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I use this as an example because of the fact that now it's not a text. So this is not a text field. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a value field. So Excel does differentiate between the two. And I have a video on how to convert value and text fields back and forth. So make sure you check out that video, because again, it'll cause a lot of errors if you're not sure how to use those properly. All right, so right here I have sum range of C1 through 14. This is equal to this, and this. Oh, I'm sorry, I wrote 1, 2, 3, 4. I wanted 1, 2, 4, 0. So right there, you just saw some troubleshooting in action. Hope you enjoyed it. I'd like to say I did it for you, but I really didn't. So 1, 2, 4, 0. All right. So and then we got $17,000. So it knocked out this Mike because he's not in department 1240. All right. So that is how you do it with a SUM IF formula with more than one criteria. And you can use many different criteria. I'm not sure if there's a limit or not, but you most likely won't hit it. All right. So if anybody has any questions, comments, feel free to shoot me a message. Always ready to help. Thanks. Bye-bye. And one quick shout out to you guys that are using the old versions of Excel. So if you're using Excel, I believe it's prior to 2007, that the SUM IFS may work a little differently. So this SUM IF, let me just show you an example. So if instead of this range where I want to sum, you could actually have it larger and select more than one column. And it'll actually work in older versions of Excel, but this will not work in the future versions. So from 2007 on up. So just wanted to let you guys know, just in case some of you guys are not reading the description. All my Excel videos, I have, you know, each Excel video, whatever I'm doing, I have what versions it's capable with and which ones it's not. So I've been around, I've seen all these, I've worked in all the different versions, so I know what's changed and the frustrations of when things change. And you know, I don't know why they got rid of this functionality of summing more than one column, but you know, that's why I use the choose function. Now that's one of the ways I get around that. And if you haven't seen that choose video, make sure you go back and watch my choose video. Very good information there, because then you could sum as many columns as you really want to. Just again, different functionalities. They both have their pros, both have their cons. So enjoy.